If the idea of launching your product, program, or service out into the world, or even just the word launch in general, makes you feel a little nauseous, then this one's for you. I'm Nikki Elledge Brown, the communication stylist, and in this video, I'm going to share at least what I hope are the 3 keys to a big girl launch, to a launch where you actually don't lose your marbles. You remember to eat and sleep and things go well. You don't miss opportunities. That's exactly what I'm trying to set up for myself right now in this moment of August 2015, and that's what I want to share with you. So a bit of background on my launch history and why I'm making this such a priority this year. I've talked about this with my biz buddies many times, where the whole idea of creating and launching something is a lot like creating and launching a person and delivering a person, and course labor and delivery, as I like to call it, because it's exhilarating, it's so exciting, and you're so hopeful, but then it's also really scary, and then ultimately a little messy and chaotic, but beautiful, and the end result is all worth it because you have brought this amazing new value into the world. So there could be a whole book on that, and maybe I'll write it one day. But in the meantime, I have to admit, every time I've launched a course about copy, or even when I first launched my business and I didn't realize I was officially launching my business, I've been flying by the seat of my brand pants. I have been just kind of creating things as I go, staying up till 2 a.m. Or when I was first creating my course about copy video series, literally one morning I was up so late. I think I was up till like 3 o'clock that morning, and we were catching a flight to go visit my husband, who was in Connecticut at the time. And I was like, oh my gosh, thank you, Lord, that he will be able to stay awake with Bryson because I need a nap today. But it's just been crazy, and I don't have time for that anymore. I really don't. Not only am I 30 and mature now that I'm 30, but I'm also in my 2nd trimester of pregnancy. And it would be very easy for me, removing houses in a couple of months, just right before the baby gets here. It would be very easy for me to just go quietly into the night feedings and be like, peace out, y'all. I'll see you in 2016. But just as soon as my motivation started playing hard to get, the hunches started rolling in, and I was like, okay, I'm not going out like that. We're going to do this. We're going to do this right. So that's what I want to share, the 3 keys that I'm really focusing on to prepare myself for what I have a feeling will be a super exciting, very rare and unique promotion season for A Course About Copy. So the first thing is systems, which if you've ever seen any of my videos before, you know this has been my Achilles heel and a major weak point of mine, because again, I'm just doing stuff as I go, and then, forget about it, and then later on there's no system to go back to, no checklist to go back to. And so there are a few reasons to do it. I would love to have 1,000 of the right people, 1,000 dreamies in the A Course About Copy family by the end of the year. That would be great. But the promotion that I'm about to do, it's not so much about the numbers. It is easy to get tied up in numbers, and it's important to have goals and milestones and quantitative metrics to help guide your decision making. But for me, this launch and this promotion is really just about the experience. And it's about proving to myself and to the people that I'm hiring to help me with it that we can do this, that we can be big girls, that we can launch without the total crazy making habits that I have developed over the first 2 years of my business. And of course, adding value and growing the A Course About Copy family, that's important too. But it's really about the experience. And also because once you have the systems down, you can repurpose them and just push play again and again and again. So basically it's like, oh, we want to add more people to the party this month? Great. Push play. We've already got the system. We know exactly what to do. And I cannot recommend that you listen to this podcast highly enough. There's an episode 62 of Amy Porterfield's Online Marketing Made Easy podcast. It's amazing. It's basically like a course in a podcast. And she goes through line by line by line by line. She calls it promotion instead of launch because, again, launch can sometimes just bring up a kind of a freak out. But it's amazing, super valuable. And since my business wants to be as organized as Amy's when it grows up, I can't recommend anyone higher than that because she has got the system down. And so she even has a whole series about like the actual breakdown of what she did for her last big launch, which was almost $1 million. So don't let that overwhelm you, and don't let the list of things overwhelm you. Excuse me as I get my hair on my face. But just look at it as a model, and things like plant those seeds in your head of things that you can ultimately build up to. So start documenting. Do a brain sneeze of all the different pieces of the puzzle. And that way, once it's all out there, again, I just did this like last week. It was 11 pages right before I went to bed of just lists. Okay, here's what I would need to do for this piece and this piece. The next step after systems is support. So when I'm talking about support, I'm talking about people And I'm talking about technology because there's no reason for you to do this all by yourself. So whether that's hiring an assistant just to help you manage all the different pieces that you can, whether it's hiring specialists like a designer or a developer, or a designer and a developer, or somebody who helps you with specifically setting up your email sequences and your delivery sequences and your order forms and that kind of thing. Just know, again, that you don't have to do it all on your own. And even if the support comes in free videos that you can find on YouTube, you can learn anything you need to learn if you have to do it by yourself. But also invest in software that can help make it easier whenever you do it. For example, I just bought Lead Pages. I resisted it for a long time because I was like, oh, but I love my pretty branding and I don't know if I can make it look good. Girl, I can make it look good. I had so much fun with Lead Pages yesterday, and I'll share a link below to what I made, and then also to Lead Pages so you can check it out. But it's so great and will save so much time because you can customize it however you want to, and you don't have to worry about coding and developing and all that. So find software that can support you. Also, in terms of people support, have your biz buddies on call, because for those times when you're like, oh my gosh, everything went wrong today, what am I doing? I should just crawl into a hole and hide. What was I even thinking? You need to have your buddies on call who can be like, snap out of it, get real, you have a value to offer to the world. And speaking of that, it's also great to get support from your actual current clients and customers, because no one believes in you like they do. They've already invested in you. So they'll be happy to join the cause and rally to help support you in that. So let them support you in that. Last, number 3, so we've talked about systems, we've talked about support, and the third key is self-care. So again, I'm pregnant right now. I can't afford to be slipping on my self-care. I can't afford to be forgetting to eat lunch, which, as much as I love to eat, I have totally forgotten to eat lunch before. When I'm in launch mode and I'm just like sitting here, and obviously if Bryson's taken care of, if my husband's home, or if we were in Texas with family, I could literally forget to eat lunch. So you actually have to schedule things. Make sure that you're taking care of yourself in terms of getting enough sleep, which is going to force you to be more productive during your set working hours during the day. So try to have a schedule so that it doesn't just marshmallow and take over, balloon, whatever the proper phrase would be, mushroom, to take over your entire schedule to where you're doing it 24/7. Give yourself challenges to work in specified chunks so that you can go to sleep at 10 o'clock or 10:30 or whatever works for you, and be able to turn your brain off, basically. So like before you go to sleep, make a list of what you're going to do the next day and know that it's all scheduled. There is time to get there. Now it's time to take care of you, because if you're out of the picture, then everything falls apart. You are your most valuable asset. Another thing is exercise. Again, this is partially because of my pregnancy, but I just recently hired a personal trainer for the first time ever, so that I had the accountability 2 days a week to step away from the laptop while Bryson's at school, go to the gym, get out of my head and into my body. That's good for me, it's good for my baby, and it's good for everyone that I hang out with, because you're a generally happy person whenever you exercise. So schedule it, make it real, and attach accountability wherever you can. And then the other piece is fun. So schedule fun. Does not sound exciting, but really schedule things that have absolutely nothing to do with your business or your launch or whatever you're creating. So whether that's date night, art class, dance party, movie night, dinner with girlfriends, just totally step out of this element, because it's actually really sneaky. Because while you're away totally distracting yourself, you're giving room for inspiration to sneak in the back door while you're not paying attention. That's when all the best downloads come, is when you're not trying to sit there and force it. So I know I've been talking a lot, and I hope this makes sense, and of course I'll summarize it in the blog post below. But again, the 3 keys that I'm focusing on, and I'll totally give you a rundown once it's all over and let you know how it went. Systems, so documenting everything and just getting it into a schedule. Support to help you implement those systems and keep you encouraged and reality checked while those systems are being implemented. And then self-care. Take care of you. Nobody else can get the sleep for you. Nobody else can do the squats for you, or take that walk for you, or do that meditation for you. Just take care of you. And of course, connect with your family and friends and take care of them too, because you are a well-rounded person. This isn't everything. This isn't the end-all, be-all, your only shot at getting people to sign up for your product, program, or service. It's really not. Everything that you do during this launch, I feel like I'm talking to myself right now too, but everything that you do in this launch is planting a seed. So even if people don't join you this round, they're seeing what you're made of, they're seeing what you have to offer, and they're getting to know, like, and trust you. And that's invaluable, whether they become customers or they're just fans and, cheerleaders for life. That there's a lot of value in that too. So in the comments below at NikkiElledgeBrown.com, I would love to hear what's your favorite one of these tips. What are you going to use and implement first if you have a launch or promo coming up? Which piece are you going to prioritize first? And also, if you have any tips on a big girl launch and saving your sanity while you're actually promoting something, please feel free to share those too. So I'll be back again in the weeks to come. I'll be sharing a little more behind the scenes about previous launches and what I'm doing this time. So I look forward to going through this journey with you. Hold me accountable, please, to sticking to these 3 keys, and I'll see you next time. Whether you're just starting out in business or you've been in business for a little while, whether your business is growing way faster than you expected or way slower than you expected, those transition phases between levels can be really stinking awkward. Biz puberty is real, it's awkward, it's not comfortable, but it's okay and it's normal. We can talk about it.